Oh no. It looks like this broadcast was deleted on Facebook. Try. Oh no. Come on. View on Facebook. Yeah.
Here's the book.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me take a look. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Great. Let me go start the broadcast. And broadcast. What's going on? There's something going on. I'm having trouble here going. There's something. Facebook is giving me a hard time. Okay. All right. Don't know what's happening. I'm having a little difficulty,
All right.
technical difficulty here.
I can wait.
Okay. Yep. I don't know what the problem is. New event. Yep. I don't know. Okay. Having a hard time. So why can't I start? I can't even start this.
Maybe it's the heat. The heat here.
I don't know. It's edit. Save changes. I can't seem to start this broadcast. I don't know what the problem is. Oh, I am live, it says. Hi, everyone. I'm live. I was looking to see if I was live, but here I am. So as you know, today is Thursday and today is interview day. So if you are joining us live, would you, in the comments below, hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and do tell us where you're coming from. As you know, I'm coming in from Mexico, and my guest is from the USA. Also, above the video, or perhaps it's down below, there's a strip that says StreamYard. If you click on that, it will give permission to StreamYard to use your name, and that way you can interact with us. You can ask us questions. You can ask my guests some questions. You can make some comments, or maybe you just want to react to something that we have said or are saying. And if that's the case, then send us those wonderful hearts, because we love hearts and it helps the algorithms. So I don't even want to stop for another minute. I want you to meet my awesome guest, Dr. Gladys McGarry. Hi, Dr. Gladys. How are you today?
I'm just fine. Thank you.
You know, I'm so honored. I'm grateful and thankful to have you here with us today. And congratulations on being 102. So I'm in Mexico. Where are you right now?
Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's hot.
It's hot. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you're keeping cool where you are in your house.
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay. So I want to know, is it okay to ask when your next birthday is going to be?
Ask what?
When your next birthday is going to be, when you're going to be?
November 30th.
November 30th. Okay, wonderful. You're Sagittarius, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you celebrate your birthdays usually?
Depends on where I am and what's going on.
Uh-huh.
If there's family around, we have family birthday party and sing happy birthday, and but when I
And be together, right?
Yeah.
Right.
When I had my 99th birthday, the kids had put 99 candles on it. So when I blew that off, it set the fire extinguisher off.
There was so much smoke.
Yeah.
And you had the breath to do that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, Dr. Gladys, I could sit here and list all the things that I know about you, that you were born in India, to American medical missionaries, that you became a doctor when it wasn't fashionable, that you're co-founder of the American Holistic Medical Association, cancer survivor. But you know what? And you're an author of several books. Your latest is A Well-Lived Life. You have it right there, right? Could
I
we
do.
could we
I
show
do.
the
Where to
audience what it looks like?
here's the Spanish version.
Wow, that's the Spanish version, which is going to be my next get for sure. La vida bien vivida. Muy bien. Okay. And the English version is The Well-Lived Life. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. A 102-year-old doctor's 6 secrets to health and happiness at every age. And we are going to talk about that. So, I would like to know, I would like to hear the story about you and your long lived, filled life with joy, the setbacks that you've had. Could you tell us so we can get to know what it is, the story that about you? I'd love for you to tell me the story instead of my telling people your story.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have parents that were both osteopathic physicians
Mhm.
at a time when, first of all, osteopathy was not really recognized
Mhm.
because AT still was just creating the first school for it. And my dad graduated in 1912 and my mother in 1911. No, I don't know. It's the other
13.
way around.
13.
Anyway,
That's good.
anyway, in a time when people were really just after World War One, they they came to India in
Mhm.
1914, right during the war, and there were U-boats in the water and stuff. They black out when but they came to India, to North India, as medical missionaries, and I had the fortune of being born to this couple who were amazing people.
Mhm.
And my mother went into labor with me at the Taj Mahal, which I think she's some kind of a drama queen or something.
That's for sure.
Anyway, for me, life was wonderful for the first 6 years because my parents took their medical work out into the jungles of North India, and I loved every bit of it. But when I started school, I couldn't read and I couldn't do anything. I knew the alphabet and I knew the numbers, but I couldn't do anything with them because they jumped all over the page. We didn't know anything about dyslexia.
Right.
So I was severely dyslexic, and so my teacher in first grade decided I was just plain stupid, and I was the dummy of the class. And
Oh my
so
God.
for 2 years, I carried that role of being the one that really didn't
Yeah.
know anything. And fortunately, my home life was wonderful. So I would leave school and then get home, and because my school was in the high Himalayas,
Mhm.
by the time I got home, life would come back into focus for me and so
Mm.
on. So by the time I went into third grade, I had a teacher who understood more about what was going on, and things started to turn around. But I was in India until I was 15, and I came to the States for college, and then went to medical school here, and life went on
And
because
life
I.
now. Mhm.
Mhm,
And then you became a doctor, and
mhm.
then you married a doctor, and then, after that, it was one thing
Well,
after.
we
Yeah.
started practice in Wellsville, Ohio, which was my husband's hometown,
Mhm.
and it was a little Ohio Valley town. And so while we were there, I had 4 children in 4 years, which I thought was a good idea because I had really good help when I wasn't there, and
Mhm.
I was going out and seeing patients all the time. But
Wow.
but my children anchored me. I mean, I was so privileged to have them. And to in 1951, yeah, my husband was called back into the Korean War. And so then I had a whole town for 2 years by myself, 9,000 patients. And this is,
With
and,
4 children. Oh my God.
and having when I started in Wellsville, no one had seen a woman doctor. They actually told me to leave, and I'd have him call my husband, have him come back in and take care of the patient or something. It was that kind of a time when women just weren't not expected to be physicians. But we lived through that, and the beautiful thing about it was when Bill was in the service, I would come home and I would be so exhausted from working with patients all day long. On the front steps of my house, my 18-month-old boy, who was just on the phone just with you earlier,
Robert.
Robert, yeah, he was sitting there, and I'd pick him up and take him in to the rocking chair, and he'd pat my shoulder until my life would come back into focus. So it's been that kind of a play between what was going on in life and what I was dealing with, but the amazing thing about it was that what I found all through these years is that life is so amazing. And if you look for the dark side, you find it.
Exactly.
And if you look for the light, you find it.
Yeah.
And if you look for joy, you might have to look for a while, but there, you know.
Absolutely. It's really a mindset. It's unbelievable. I heard you say that you, at 2 years old, you knew you were going to be a doctor. I mean, do you think that you were an old soul in a young person's body?
I must have been.
You must have been. I mean, it's unbelievable, because we're talking. I know that your purpose in life is set around your career, and they kind of merge, your purpose and your career, being a doctor, helping people, and whatnot. You do believe that people have come to this plane, this earth, to fulfill a mission, right? To fulfill a purpose. And but my question to you is, you knew at 2 years old. How come I didn't know until I was 40 years old? I mean, what's that all about?
Well, you had other things to learn.
Well, I guess I did.
Because I think each one come in to learn what it is that we need to know. Our soul is calling for that. See, I have this concept that when God, whatever that means to each one of us, when God created us, he created the earth and all the beautiful thing, and he thought, oh, this is very nice, and I like this. It's beautiful. So he said, then he created the humans, and he said to us humans, you're the only ones that can make a decision and make choices and have free will. So therefore, I give you dominion over this land, and this is, so that's what we came in to do. But we, in our arrogance, decided that meant dominance.
Right.
Well, it doesn't mean dominance. And so, but as being dominant, we could do anything we wanted to this earth. And so we have done it. So I think that when E.T. was looking for home and reaching up there, I think that our basic souls are still reaching for our true humanity, because I think we got all mixed up in whatever it was that we try to, as individual souls, got mixed up in. And so we're in the process of reclaiming our true humanity. And
right,
that to me is really exciting.
right. It is exciting. Oh my God, when you think of that. And I love your whole concept of the world being in one big puzzle and
Yes,
how each piece is so unique. And if there's missing one piece, then the part of, the whole is not complete.
it's not complete and it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
You have to find that one piece.
I know if you've ever done puzzles, that for sure is a thing. Let me get some water because as we talk,
Yeah, and I'll do the same.
I get so excited that so reflecting on a century of your life, and as you approach this milestone of being 103 years young, I would say, what do you believe has been the most significant change in the world during your lifetime? And how has it shaped your view on maybe ageless living? That's a big question.
It's been a constant change, you know. It's it I think we are beginning to wake up to our true humanity. And
Mhm.
I think that the COVID kind of made us do that
Yeah,
because we had to go back home and rethink things and so on. And it did it for the whole world. I mean, it wasn't just us.
right.
So I think that we are stuck in places and and are wondering why we are stuck in these places
Mhm.
and why we can't move out of them and so on. Well, as long as we're complaining about being stuck in places, we'll be stuck in
We'll be stuck
places.
in places, right? Yeah.
If we can think, okay, I'm stuck, how do I get out? And
Yeah.
start looking for the light,
Yeah.
we'll find it. You know, I kind of think it's like walking down a road and it's dark, but I've got a flashlight and I'm walking down that path and it lets me know when I can take the next step and the
Right.
next step. But as I'm walking along, sometimes there's a little glimmer of light over on one side or on the other side.
Mhm.
And if I put my light with that light gets
Glow.
brighter.
Mhm.
So we're in this together.
We are.
You know, we're traveling at this time in the times scheme of things of the earth. We each one have a special place.
We do.
And if we can realize and look within ourselves about what really makes us sing and brings joy into our I have these 5 L's that I think make sense to me.
Mhm.
Can I give them to you?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to get to that, but let's do it. The 5
Okay.
L's. Mhm.
The first L is life.
Mhm.
Without life, we would it wouldn't exist, you know,
Right.
there'd be nothing. But life by itself can have all the energy of the universe in a little seed in the pyramid, and nothing happens with it.
Right.
It's just there. But life, when it is activated by love, which
Mhm.
is sunlight and water and so on, it'll crack the shell, and life can become what it is. The energy can begin to work. It's life without love is non-existence. It's
Non-existent.
you
Yeah.
know it's uh, the essence of the two of them is really like the sperm and the ovum, like
Mhm.
the night and day. We live in a dual in a two-dimensional world, and we fit into that two-dimensional world. So the process of life and love are integral to each other. They are a part of each other.
Right.
The third one is love. Love without third one is laughter. Laughter without love is cruel. It's cold. It's mean. Families fall apart with it, you know. But laughter with love is joy and
So,
happiness.
yeah, I had to
Fourth,
ponder that once when I read
yeah,
that. When I first read that, I went, she's so right. Laughter without love is just
Right.
harsh.
It's
It's
cruel.
cruel. Yeah,
Yeah. Families fall apart with that, you know.
they do.
Wars are fought over it.
Right.
So, but the fourth one is labor. Labor without love is drudgery. I
Right.
gotta go to work,
Yeah.
not another day, you know, too many diapers, all this kind of stuff. And you drag yourself through it. And labor with love, though,
It's
is
bliss.
bliss.
Yeah,
You know, it's why you're doing what you're doing. It's why
exactly.
I'm doing what you work twice as hard with the love because you have to do it. It's what's it's within your inner being. This is the singer sings, the painter paints. It's part of
Fulfilling. It's
yeah.
fulfilling. Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
and the fifth one is listening.
Listening.
Listening without love is an empty sound. You know, we don't hear each other. You can see two people talking to each other, they're both talking at the same time, they don't hear each other. But
Don't.
and we hear something and we don't, you know,
Mhm.
if you begin to really listen, then you begin to understand. If is a if a teacher is teaching and not listening to what the student is asking for, or if the student is listening and not listening to what the teacher's saying, so what?
It doesn't go anywhere.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing happens. Oh my God. Absolutely. Thank you for going over those 5 L's, and people, we don't think about that, but I love the laughter one, especially because, that one, I had to really think about that. And I thought, oh my God, absolutely. That makes me think that, throughout your long and fulfilling life, what role has meaningful human connection played in maintaining your health? I know that you said your children anchored you, um, you know, uh,
Oh,
going
yeah.
through those difficult times. You know, um, Human connection, plays such an important part in everyone's health and vitality. Can you talk a little bit about that and the role that, that plays in our life as human beings?
Well,
In that connection?
yeah, because if we aren't paying attention to what our people around us are doing, we can be very, very lonely.
Mhm.
And I don't care how many TV shows or movies or whatever you want to watch. There still are, as human beings, we need touch. We
Right,
need to feel each other. We need to be aware that when I shake a hand or when I give a hug or when I'm touching somebody, I'm transferring my care and my loving to that person. And we need that touch. During World War II, they found, they did a whole study in London where they had babies that were, the mothers were died or whatever, what, and these babies, and they did a study where the babies were taken care of and everything but they didn't have any human touch, and
right,
they didn't survive, or they really had a hard time surviving. They had to have the human touch.
right,
We need each other. We need each other on this planet. And so if we feel lonely, start looking around to see who is in your neighborhood or in your vicinity
right,
who looks as lonely as you are,
right,
or who is struggling along to do something, or maybe it's just hear a song that brings some kind of awareness to you, or you see a baby laugh or something that allows you to latch into what our true humanity is.
right.
But you have to be looking for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm fascinated. Sometimes I can spend, almost a half an hour looking at YouTube of babies newly born. It just
Uh-huh.
fascinates me. It
Yeah.
fascinates me the way they come into the world, the eyes, the movements of their hands. I just find that so fascinating. I don't know why
Mhm.
I'm so fascinated by it, but I am. It's unbelievable,
It's
you know?
amazing.
It is amazing. And
It's
and then and then when they're put on their mother's belly or next to their mother, you can just see that,
yeah,
they
yeah,
touch and oh my god,
yeah.
absolutely right.
They recognize each other when they're touched again,
Right, right.
it's
My
but
god, could you you've been did you have any particular patients, stories, or experiences that really profoundly impacted your approach to healing and well-being? Can you share maybe some of those moments with us?
yes, I'd like to share another story before I tell this
Okay.
one. My oldest son is a retired orthopedic surgeon,
Mhm.
and so now he's I a gardener, and now he's building boats and that kind of stuff, He's retired, but he's doing all kinds of stuff. But when he came through Phoenix, on his way to Del Rio, Texas, to start his first practice, after he'd finished his training in orthopedics,
Mhm.
he said to me, "Mom, I'm real scared." He said, "I'm going into this world. I'm going to have people's lives in my hands.
Wow.
I don't know if I can handle that." And I said to him, "Well, Carl, if you think you're the one that does the healing, you have a right to be scared.
Right.
But your job is to do the job you've been trained to do. And orthopedics is awesome. I mean, if you've got a part of your body that needs some therapy, and an orthopod is, don't mess around. Get it, go see an orthopedic surgeon and get it taken care of,
Right.
you know, because that's their job, and they know how to do it, and they do a good job." But I said, "But if then you think that that's your job to do the healing, you have something to think about, because that's not your job.
Right.
After you've done your job, which is awesome, you then turn the healing over to the physician within that patient.
Wow.
And that patient hears what you're saying, understands what you're saying, and begins to apply it. Because an orthopedic surgeon can talk themselves blue in the face and not have the patient not
Yeah.
hear what's happening, and it's not going to heal.
I know. I remember growing up, there's so many people saying, "Oh my god, this doctor has no bedside manners,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
no connection.
we were uh, we need to be taught that in
Mhm.
medical school, and so but it's that kind of thing. But let's see, what was your question?
Well, about the patients, that
Yeah,
you had, any particular stories or
yes.
experiences? Mhm.
I've had patients who absolutely I'm in awe of.
Mhm.
One is this Evelyn Daly I told you about. She's
Okay.
all her life, all I've known her, she's had pain, physical pain. She's had her emotional pain too, but she's had physical pain. But she's a painter. And when the pain starts to get hard, she grabs her paints and she'll paint anything. She'll paint the wall,
Wow.
she'll paint her shoes, she'll paint her scarf, her purse, anything, until what she calls the ting comes back into painting.
Oh, wow.
So it's that her energy is taken into the whole process enough that she can handle the pain.
Right.
Prior to that, the pain was the focus, and she really could hardly do anything else. But then she gets back, and she's in her I think she's 80 now, but
Okay.
she's right up there. She's been doing this all her life. I
Wow.
have another patient who just died a year, no, a month ago. She's was in her late 70s, but she had lived all of her life with 1/4 of one kidney. That's not possible.
Yeah, how does this I don't understand how that is
She
possible.
does. None of us
Yeah,
doctors
yeah.
knew how she did it. but she knew her body well enough. She knew what she could handle, what she couldn't handle. And if one of us suggested something and it was something that she couldn't handle, she'd say no. She's one of these people that we call a non-compliant patient.
Right.
But boy, when they understand their body enough to know what it can handle, what it can't,
Can do, yeah.
the
Yeah,
doctor had better pay attention to that.
absolutely. Oh my God. It's part of knowing yourself for sure. Oh my God. So I wanted to ask you, you've had to navigate. I'm sorry, I didn't turn off my phone. It's really unbelievable how you forget to do things. And so I'm going to, it's part of,
You're human.
yeah, yeah, and this is live, so
Yeah,
I'm never bothered by those things, at least not anymore. I wanted
yeah.
to ask you, um, life it can be challenging sometimes. You and I have something in common. You and I both were divorced at the age of 70. Now, for me, that was devastating. It was devastating. I know it takes two to tango. And when I look back, I know what I could have done better and whatnot. But, you know, resilience is the key to overcoming challenges in our lives, I think. But how have you managed to stay resilient and motivated with a lot of setbacks and difficulties that have come?
Well, Bill and I started our practice together. We had all these kids together. We started the American Holistic Medicals. We worked together. We had a business together. I thought life was joy. Was I was enjoying it and doing my thing, except that I didn't think about this until later. We uh, Anytime we were introduced, it was Bill McGarry and Gladys McGarry, Dr. Bill McGarry and Gladys McGarry.
Mhm.
I was and Gladys.
Right,
So I had my own identity. I knew what I was doing and so on, but recognized in the community we were a couple.
right.
So when he asked for the divorce, I was shattered. I was blown into the universe. I just didn't know which end was up.
Yeah,
I was upside down and backwards, and it was just terrible.
yeah, yeah,
And uh, my kids were all surprised and all that too. So this one day, I'm driving home from because I kept on working. Because thank God, but I couldn't work where I was working. But my daughter and I started our own practice, and within 2 weeks, we were working.
yeah,
So, I had to keep going. But I was driving home from work and to an empty house and thinking, I was screaming. I was screaming in my car. I was letting the universe know that I just was not happy and this was terrible
yeah,
and that God, whoever didn't understand it, how it was on this dimension. I mean, I was really bad. I was going at it. And then all of a sudden I pulled over to the side of the road and I stopped and I said, I got this verse in my head. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
wow.
And the be glad grabbed me. So when I went home, I had my license plate changed to be
Be
glad.
glad.
So the rest of the time I was practicing in Phoenix, my car was driving around saying be
Be
glad,
glad.
you know. But it was taking the focus off of what was so horrible
Right.
and realizing that I didn't have to do that.
Right.
I could really change where I was looking and I could take this be glad message to other people.
Hmm.
And so that really shook me and got me to started to on the other side of, but I didn't really uh, understand how grateful I really was for him asking for the divorce until I got the under got it into my head that what he had done was given me my freedom.
Right. Your voice.
Yep.
Right.
And the divorce gave me my freedom, and I could become Gladys McGear on my own.
On your own. Oh my God, what a great story that I got goosebumps. I remember thinking, why would I want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with me? I
Oh,
remember thinking that.
yeah, yeah. It's you have so much pain,
Yeah.
and you can focus it so much. I mean, he married his nurse, so
Oh,
this had been going on, and so, but it's that injury that happens, and you could, like, if you cut your arm
yeah.
and you sit there and you keep picking at the scab,
Yeah.
it'll never heal.
No.
But if you can let it heal, you do what you need to let it heal, you'll come back someday and look at it and say, "Oh, I know you."
Well, yeah.
You know, it's that kind of something that happens to us that we need to put in place where it is, but
Right.
we really need to understand we could get stuck and stay there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if life doesn't move, it dies.
Oh, and I love that whole thing of life doesn't move. It's
Yeah,
part of your six
yeah.
secrets of your book. So, yeah, and this is a good example of exactly what you mean. And I don't want to take too much of your time because I know how busy you are. Let's just take a look at your book. I know you're an author about five books. This latest book, everybody's so interested in the six secrets to health and happiness, at any age. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, some of the most critical lessons that you could impart to the younger generation about, living a purposeful, pur-
Per
purposeful,
per
purposeful life and fulfilling life. What would be the most critical lesson that you could impart to the younger people?
Start looking for the love and light.
Mm,
Start looking for that. If you're not, uh, start. But if
yeah,
you are, keep it up, because that's what gives you the juice.
yeah.
You could keep looking over your shoulder at what went wrong and all that and get stuck
Mhm.
there. You'll never make any progress. But if you're reaching for the light, if you're looking for the light, boy, life is such a it's a hoot.
I know, and I love your term juicy. You use
Yeah,
it. That's one of the six secrets, isn't it? The
right.
juice of life. Is that how you put it? I mean, let's
Yes.
can we quickly go over those six secrets? I mean, people are going to have to read this book, folks. You have to read this book. All right, and so
Yeah,
we're.
well, the secrets are that, we're each one here for a purpose,
Hmm.
and that life has to move,
Hmm.
and that, with, uh oh, I'm 102 years old. And
I
I
know.
could say it.
I,
Uh,
I,
I could read it. I really I live these principles, and it's
I
not
know. I know.
something.
So you have,
Anyway,
yeah,
get
that
the
you have
book
to
and
spend
find
your
it for
energy.
yourself.
You have to spend your energy wildly. But
Yeah.
when I read that, I'm going, Wildly? There must be a misprint. She must mean
No, no,
wisely.
wisely. And everything is a teacher.
Everything's a teacher. Hmm.
Yes, and love is a great healer. So that's
Right,
what I was looking for. And love is a great healer. We're not in it alone. Everything is a teacher, and live your life
right.
wildly.
Wildly, wildly.
Mm.
And can you kind of expand a little bit about wildly, because energy, there's just so much energy, and we feel that as we grow older, we should kind of, you know, be
Save
wild.
it,
No, not save it.
put it in the
I'm not one to save. I mean, I have so much energy. I'm wild too. So,
yeah, yeah.
but I do understand this. But wildly. What do you mean in with that word, to spend your energy wildly?
Well, just think about the word wildly.
Yeah.
It means you don't don't restrict yourself.
Okay.
Don't hold back. If you have if you're identify yourself as doing something
Mhm.
and do it, and it's joy. It allows you to move forward. If you're always trying to save your energy, energy doesn't save. Energy has to be alive. It has
Has
to
to be
move.
flow.
You
Yeah.
can't bank it.
You can't pack it right, and you can't go to the grave with it either.
No.
Dr. Gladys, yeah, I love that you have a 10-year plan. I mean, I can't believe you. I mean, your next adventure, what's that gonna be? Can you
A
kind of
village for living medicine, a
Oh, wow,
place where people can come and live a life that is a life
right.
full of love and joy and happiness. And so there are places like that in this world, that where people, when they step on the ground, healing starts.
Yeah, there are
It's
places.
it's actually possible. And so we need to, we, I need to work to, for how many years, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Get
I
it
do
started
need,
at least.
but my focus needs is on living medicine and bringing that into reality. The Christ had to become flesh and dwell among us
Mhm.
before the Christ consciousness could be real.
Right.
So the concept of living medicine in a village needs to happen so that the world can understand this is what we really are as true humans, our true humanity is looking for.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is
And
so
that'll help us heal the earth too.
wow. Yeah, yeah, take my breath away for sure. I know I'm not taking any more of your time. I just want to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you
Thank you for
for
having me.
honoring me with your presence. And I certainly want to thank my audience that couldn't be here because I'm not on. It was supposed to be streamed to Facebook, and it didn't happen. So I'm going to have to see see what went wrong there. But I'm not techy enough to do anything about it now. So I'll get back later. So anyway, thank you, Dr. Gladys. Please, please, please. I'm starting to celebrate your 103 birthday already.
All right.
I'll be following you, and we'll keep in touch for
Thank you.
sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody, for being here. And I'll see you next week for another wonderful, awesome interview. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.